No more SEC championship game? Let's talk about it. Now look, there was some big time comments today by the Alabama AD who said pretty much the ship has sailed. We need to move on from the SEC championship game. Now, at the premise, I disagree, right? Currently where we are right now with college football with 12 teams, I feel like it is still relevant to be an SEC champion, especially to play for it in the game. Now, some people are coming for, obviously, the AD Greg Byrne because it's like, are you saying this because you guys had negative 3 yards? Are you saying this because you guys got walloped by Georgia 28-7 in the SEC championship game? Or are you saying this because the dynasty is over at Alabama? So it's interesting to think about and obviously interesting to see what he had to say here. And some are going to be in agreement, some not. And again, I feel like I know the SEC moved to a 9-game slate in terms of obviously conference play. You're going to play a couple cupcake games though in that, correct? Yes. So to me, guys, it feels like let's not run from the smoke. I still think crowning the SEC champion is still very important. I still think battling, competing for that kind of a crown does symbolize different things. And then if we just have a regular season championship, it takes the allure away. Yes, you won a regular season, but let's see the top 2 teams go toe-to-toe for it. Now, the only premise in which he is correct is if we expand, right? If we go into like 24 teams, 32 teams, he has a valid point. What the hell is the point, right? Everybody's pretty much getting in the tournament at that point, which is why you should limit it if we're doing that, right? But nonetheless, I still think we should have an SEC championship as the current model is presently constructed of 12 teams. Yes, very important. You get a top 4 seed. My bad, you don't get a top 4 seed. You get an automatic berth into the college football playoff. That's pretty cool to win if you are obviously a champion. Now, you have to be top 4 rated in terms of the committee's odds in order to get that bye week. But we even seen the bye week. Yes, it matters, but at the same time, the teams that are coming off the bye have not been as successful. The only team this past year that was Indiana. Everybody else got pretty much walloped. But this has become such a big time topic that even Kirby Smart has weighed in. This is what Kirby had to say. Where we are right now with 12 teams, I don't necessarily agree that it needs to quit, referring to the SEC championship game. But if it gets to 16 or 24 and we got to move the season up and we've got to get everything done by the second week of January, then I'd probably say it has to go. So this is why I like Kirby though. Some people like him, some people don't. But I feel like Kirby always has the right answer and the right response when it comes to national issues or things related to college football. He's 1,000% right. If it goes up to that amount of teams, I think 16 you can still pull it off. But to his point of what Kirby's saying, yes, you're going to have to move the season up because it's too much to end the season that quick, have spring practice in April or even late March, and try to go into the next season right thereafter. There has to be a timeline equitable enough to where it helps the team be able to recover, allows them to go through their offseason training, and things like that. And I think for college football, it would be even more exciting. No, you don't want to go into the high school football and what they have going on, obviously, in August. But at the same time, college football doesn't start until damn near Labor Day. Now, look, that is a tradition of the sport. It's a great part of the sport. But maybe move it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Move it to the second week of August. Move it to where it makes sense for the scheduling, allows the teams to, you know what I'm saying, know what's going on. And like he said, you can end the season earlier. Now, again, I know it's tough because you compete with NFL too. You're just going to have a sit down with the NFL big people, the college football big people, and come to a common solution that's best for both of the brands. Period. Because at the end of the day, the NFL is still taking your product, right? Because they're taking guys from college that develop through. It's not like they're going to another league. A little bit of UFL, a little bit of XFL, whatever. But the prime product of the NFL is coming from college football. So why can't you guys bond together and find a common solution for the scheduling, to Kirby's point, which would make more sense? But I'm with y'all. I'm all in agreement of I don't think we should end the SEC championship game. I think, though, we do need to put a limit on the amount of teams to get into the CFP playoff. I think a good number really is 14. 14, no more than 16 teams should be in the CFP playoff. That's it. I know about the money, revenue, slices, all that good stuff, but 14 to 16 teams is just enough, in my humble opinion, to get enough teams in. Those bottom teams, let them play in a playoff or a play-in type of scenario, and you get to advance. But it always going to come down to, can the big people in college football meet with the big people in the NFL and come to a common solution for the scheduling and make it make enough sense to where it can still make sense to have an SEC championship game where it's not too much for any of those teams that are in it. So I thought Kirby brought up obviously a great point. I don't believe that as currently constructed, the ship is sailed. I do sense a little bit of bitterness from Alabama. You know what I'm saying? For what obviously the last few years, it takes time. You can't always be at the mountaintop. You can't always be at the top. But somebody in college football is gonna have to decide, where is the cutoff for this? Or are we gonna go to a 32, 44, 64 amount of teams that get to the playoff? Not everybody deserves to get in, right? Treat it like the NFL. And when I say treat it like the NFL, I'm not saying, oh, it should have that same model. That's not what I'm saying. But the best teams go, right? If you were a team that's 8-4, you shouldn't be getting to the CFP playoff. Let's be honest. Let's use logic here. You should be getting to the playoffs if you win 10 games, maybe 9, big maybe. Outside of that, you should not be getting to a CFP playoff. You're not should be making the playoffs. I don't care. I don't care about the SEC schedule. I don't care about the Big Ten schedule. I don't care who you play. If you're losing more than 3 games, you don't deserve to be in. Say what you want, argue with your mama. That's just my stance. So, to wrap up my soliloquy, I disagree with the head man, Greg Byrne, on this topic. I still think you should have it. But again, move the calendar up some and make sure you got enough bye weeks in there for these teams. These teams usually get 2 bye weeks. You know what I'm saying? Do that. I know the tradition is Labor Day. Move it up some. Move it up a couple of weeks. And I guarantee you, it's going to be more lore, more excitement about your product and wanting to see college football.